Styles.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Can't complain.
Good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Love.
Right. See you doing like what's going on up here. You know,
Thank you.
See a lot of counseling happening. That's dope.
Yeah, we working, just spreading the information.
Trying to keep everybody right.
That's it. Working on it.
So, what's the plans for Pharmacy for Life? You gonna expand?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
More stores?
More stores. Our e-commerce has been up for a few years doing what we do, but definitely looking to do some more brick and mortars.
Gonna keep it, or you gonna sell once it gets to a certain?
I got to discuss that with my partners.
Got you.
You know?
Well, my show is called Preserving the Culture.
All right.
It revolves around the culture of hip hop.
All right.
Where did all of it start for you? Lay some foundation. I know I've been watching a lot of the podcasts and stuff you've been on and spoke about tons of stuff. Where did the music all kind of start? Like, I know you kind of had some issues when you were younger, you know, getting in trouble and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the music started just from the love of my love of music. You know, that was a career I knew I wanted to be in since pretty much a youth. Being from Yonkers, no one was ever on in Yonkers, rap-wise. You always hear the Five Boroughs shouted out. You always hear Mount Vernon shouted out. You always, you know, God bless Heavy D. You always hear Brand New being shouted out, New Rochelle. So just Yonkers is right next door to the Bronx. So since the birth of hip hop, pretty much, from my knowledge of it to it reaching my world, it was just something I always wanted to do.
So how old would you say you were when you wrote your first song?
My first rhyme probably was around, I want to say
15,
9 or 10.
9 or 10.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Okay, you remember it?
Hell no.
Hell no. I always ask people that.
Nah, not at all.
And then from there, what were your influences musically? Just what was going on in Yonkers?
Yeah, I mean, what was going on in Yonkers in the game, you know, just.
Who at that point do you remember being an influence?
Just the whole culture from Beat Street. I know I was influenced heavy since the movie Beat Street. The Message was I would say the first song that inspired me to really understand, not even fully understand because I was too young right there.
To really understand.
But I know hearing the message and seeing what happened made the art make sense to me.
Broken glass everywhere. People on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise. Got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice.
From watching B Street, and then, you know, of course, Run DMC, LL Cool J.
You used to tag and all of that stuff too?
Definitely, I've done almost everything hip hop.
Was your tag Styles back then?
No, my name was Davey D back then.
Davey D?
Yeah, so you definitely wasn't Styles. Styles didn't come to, Styles came by way of high school. Styles is actually my real last name.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone in high school just called me Styles.
Styles,
Just called me, yeah. You know, in the neighborhood, everybody was just calling me Styles.
Was there a lot of like ciphers and stuff in high school when you were?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm from that era. I'm 48 years old, so I grew up on ciphers.
Who do you remember being in a cipher with back then that stands out in memory? Anybody?
She, Kiss, X.
Okay.
You
Besides them, anybody that you think is like, man, I remember this dude.
I ciphered with Mace. I've ciphered with Children of the Corn before. I've ciphered with McGruff, Big L.
All heavyweights.
Yeah, I've been in a few of them.
So now you said you did everything hip hop and break dance?
Yeah.
Tag?
Yeah.
Okay. Still break dance?
Nah.
Okay. So tell me more now about when you were coming up and just what you remember. I try to get a grasp of what people remember when they were coming up and what was influential. Like you said, the game
Life was
influential.
people, like I'm from the era where life was influential. I came up during obviously 1986 and 85, around the years crack came out. I've been outside pretty much my whole life, so I've been influenced by music, of course. I've been influenced by drug dealers. I've been influenced by just pretty much the fast life and knowing that I wanted nice shit and knowing that I wanted to really, live in a world where I had control over most things. So coming up for me, it was, especially in Yonkers at the time, I would say it was rough, but it was beautiful at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's a combination of, everything was more authentic back then, I would say. There were no, I come from an era where cell phones didn't come till I was a teenager. I come from an era where we would knock on your homeboy's door or yell out his window. I come from an era of manhunt, slap boxing, ciphers, breaking night,
all that,
stealing,
all that,
fighting. That's the era I come from. So what's influential is really wanting to make a new way. There wasn't as much opportunities back then as there are now. Like, there were that many ways of making money as much as there are now. Like, you know what I mean? So life influenced you, and people of power and position and people who had financial freedom were my influences.
When would you say your turning point was when you said, all right, I got to start doing better for myself?
In my teens, I would say. I didn't always follow through though, but I knew from early. My mom's from South Africa, so that's also one of my biggest influences, is seeing how much my mom achieved with coming to this country, and where she got in life as far as education and working. So I always had in my mind that I was going to make it. Like, you know what I mean? I come from blood that
had no choice but to make it.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So for me, it was pretty much.
Have you ever been back to South Africa to see where your mother was from?
Yes, I have.
What was that like?
Incredible.
Yeah.
One of my most incredible life experiences ever, just to see that many black, brown faces and brothers and sisters, and just everywhere you go is pretty amazing.
Different feeling
pretty
altogether.
Awesome, yeah. It's kind of a hard thing to describe. It's just really beautiful.
A feeling, yeah.
Yeah, it's just beautiful and amazing.
Is that something you do?
And to feel at home at some place you've never been, it's crazy. To get there and feel like you're home and you're amongst your people, and to be embraced, to be loved on, to be treated nice, it was just really amazing.
Do you constantly go back and forth, or?
No, I'm going back though. I'm going back pretty soon, actually.
Okay. So now, the Locks formed in high school?
Yeah.
So when did the Warlocks form? Same, was that high school?
Before we were the Locks, we were the Warlocks. Before we were the Warlocks, we were the Bomb Squad. And that was all formed in high school. Cypher rhyming, beatboxing, banging on tables.
Who used to bang and who used to do the beatbox?
She got an ill beatbox.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was just our love of the art, our love of the culture, our love of everything that's going on. And pretty much that was it for us. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew where we wanted to go.
How many albums in are you now?
I have no idea. I think somewhere in the solo tip. Professional albums, maybe around 17. Mixtapes, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Group albums, about 4 or 5.
I keep hearing about you saying you're not doing any more solo music.
Nah, solo, this will be my next album, will be my last solo album. I'll still do collaborate. I even have probably the most collaboration albums. I got an album with Have, I got an album with Talib, I got an album with Spitter, I got an album with Currency, I got an album with East. I have a few more collabs to do. So I'm just gonna sign out as a soloist and stay doing collabs and Locks albums. And I'm pretty cool with that.
So you have a few collabs lined up already, or?
I got 1 or 2 in mind.
Okay. And Locks albums?
Definitely.
I was listening to the song Today's America, is it?
I'm bad with titles. Sometimes I make a lot of music.
It was like My Mama Don't Call Like She Used To.
Oh yeah.
That's a deep song. I listened to it and like, where were you coming from when you wrote that? Like,
same place I come every time, the gut.